So let's ignore the mess that is my room. Every time I film in here, I forget to clean it up. So there's a lot of crap. Today I'm filming my Sailor Moonathon TBR. I saw the signups for Sailor Moonathon on Twitter, so I decided to sign up. I don't know a ton about it. I do know that it is a team-based reading challenge that takes place in May, I believe for about 3 weeks. There are 9 different teams, and I myself am on Team Neptune. This readathon was created by Bookish Pisces on Twitter. There are many different challenges for the readathon. The overall readathon book is Beds Are for Flowers by R.K. Gold. I believe it is a children's book, and it has something to do with death and reapers and the afterlife. That's about all I know about it though. Each team has a book for their overall team to read as well. The team for my book is The Bells by Dhonielle Clayton. I believe this is about a group of people named the Bells who have this special power to turn people beautiful. I am looking forward to reading this book because I've heard a lot of great things about it here on book 2. Now to get to the challenges and my TBR. So the first challenge is Sailor Moon, which is to reread an old favorite. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm gonna do this one. I just have so many new books to read that I don't really feel like rereading something that I've already read. The next challenge is Sailor Mercury, which is to read a book that challenges you. The book I chose for this is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. And there's something about Neil Gaiman that really intimidates me. I think it's because he creates just such big epics that I was like really scared to pick this up. I bought this at the secondhand store, which is why it looks kind of beat up. But I really want to see the show, even though I haven't heard that many great things about it, but I've heard the book is amazing. I've heard Neil Gaiman's writing is amazing. I'm scared, but I'm doing it. This will also count for another challenge in this list. I'm doubling up on a lot of challenges because there's no way in heck I'm going to be able to read 13 books this month. I don't really know how to describe the plot of this book. I know it's about a man named Shadow who gets released from prison. His wife has been murdered, and there's some sort of battle coming that he's, I guess, a part of. Like I said, I don't know a ton about this. I think part of it too is that in my mind I'm like comparing it to Stephen King's The Stand, which I read a couple years ago and wasn't a huge fan of. So I don't know, I'm scared. I'm very much a mood reader. I mentioned that in my TBR for the Owls. I like to just pick up whatever book I'm feeling in that moment. And so I did put a couple options for a couple of these because I'm high maintenance. So the next challenge is Sailor Venus. Read a book with a character that has special abilities. I currently have 3 options for this. I have Reneges by Marissa Meyer, which is about people with superpowers. I have Glory O'Brien's History of the Future by A.S. King, which is about a girl who can see the future. And The Power by Naomi Alderman, which is about a future where all of the women suddenly develop this power where they can kill men with a flick of the wrist. I'm really been wanting to get to this one, so this will probably be my pick unless I'm in a very superhero mood or something. The next challenge is Tuxedo Mask, which is to read a romance. The book I'm going to read for that is Brutal Game by Cara Mckenna. I'm going to buy this on the Kobo. This is a sequel to the book Willing Victim by Cara Mckenna, which I absolutely loved. It was such a good erotica. I'm so looking forward to reading the sequel, and I was just looking for any reason to read it, so this worked out great. The next challenge is Chibi Usa. I'm probably saying that wrong, which is super embarrassing, but it's to read a novella. And that one will also be Brutal Game by Cara Mckenna because it is a novella and not a full-length novel. The next challenge is Sailor Mars, and that is to read a book having to do with fire. I have 3 options for this one. I have Liar Liar by MJ Arlidge, which is part of the Helen Grace series, which I really, really like. It's a crime series. It's a crime series about a detective named Helen Grace, and I love it. I love her as a character. This one has to do with arson, so fire. The Perfect Husband by Lisa Gardner. I don't know much about this, but it has fire on the cover. And Bonfire by Krysten Ritter, which has to do with a reporter that goes back to her hometown, and there's some sort of mystery involving like a game they used to play as kids. Although I've heard this be compared to Erin Brockovich, which I did not know it had anything to do with that sort of thing, so this one might be falling to the lower part of the list. I'm probably gonna read Liar Liar. I'm gonna read Liar Liar. The next challenge is Sailor Jupiter, which is to read a book with 400 pages or more. This is one that American Gods by Neil Gaiman will fit into. The next challenge is Sailor Uranus. Read something with a gorgeous cover. I have two options for that. The first, The Wanderers by Meg Howrey. This cover is beautiful. I just love the colors on it. This is about a group of people who take part in some sort of simulated Mars mission. Space isn't usually my thing, but for some reason I picked this book up, so I might as well read it. My other choice is Baby Teeth by Zoje Stage. I feel like other people might not find this cover beautiful, but there's something about the minimalist nature of it that just speaks to me. It's probably my favorite cover that I have right now. On a book, I also just like the title. This was actually on my Owls TBR as well, but I ended up reading something else. So this one has something to do with a child and her parents. The mother believes that the child is trying to make her life a living hell, and that it's some sort of like the Omen type shit where she's like a bad seed. And the father just doesn't see it. So that's very much up my alley, and I'm really looking forward to this one, so this is also an option. The next challenge is Sailor Saturn, which is to read a standalone. Whichever book I pick for the gorgeous cover will also count for the standalone, because these are both standalones. The next challenge is Sailor Neptune, which is to read a contemporary. For some reason I have a hard time choosing contemporaries. I always have to check Goodreads to make sure that these books are actually contemporaries. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have multiple options for this. The first option is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood, which is about a girl who grows up with a drug dealer father and who forms this connection with one of his underlings. There's also Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson, which I bought on the Kobo. I believe it is about a girl whose best friend goes missing and no one seems to care. I've heard great things about it, so that is definitely a big contender. And then the other option is The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which I also have on the Kobo. It's a smut book. I don't know a ton about it, but I heard some good things on BookTube, and I love me some smut. So really, realistically, that might be a top contender as well. And the last challenge is Sailor Pluto to read a dystopian novel. This was another one that for some reason I had a hard time. I kept picking novels that weren't actually dystopian, so if this isn't dystopian, somebody correct me. The novel I chose for this is Scythe, why can't I say that? Scythe, by Neil Shusterman. I heard amazing things about this book. I bought this on the Kobo as well. And I like having kind of a mix between physical novels and stuff on the Kobo because I tend to read that at night. I believe this is a book where everything has kind of been fixed, all illnesses and reasons to die. So they have to have scythes who go around and kill people to keep the population intact or whatever, I guess. I don't know. I've heard it's really complex and I'm very much looking forward to reading it. So that is my TBR for May. I'm also hoping to take part in the Good Omens read along that's happening at the end of May after this one's over. I think they end and start right after each other, so I was like, that's perfect, because I really want to watch the anime series. Did I just say anime? I really want to watch the Amazon series. I haven't been doing the best in the Owls, but I do really like the idea of readathons, so I still want to take part in more. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you again next time. Bye.